Most of you may know me as a musician. But another one of my favorite things life has to offer is sailing. For 2 consecutive winters, I sailed my beloved 36-foot Beneteau named Lola from San Francisco to Panama. Completing 4,000 miles at a whopping 5 miles an hour, I'd arrived in Panama City, where I pulled Lola out of the water and listed her for sale. Lola was a fantastic boat, but wasn't meant for what I wanted to do. I wanted an ocean-going boat that would take care of me when I needed her to. After months of searching, I'd found Juno, a 43-foot Shannon sailboat built the same year I was born. On top of that, her name prior to me naming her Juno was Music, and prior to that was Lola. It was meant to be. I need to move my boat from Florida to North Carolina to evade next year's hurricane season, get a friendlier insurance rate, and settle her into a cheaper monthly slip. Now let's fly to Juno to meet the crew. First we have Ale, my lovely girlfriend. She wins the award for toughest crew member by a landslide. Finding her steering for hours on end without a complaint became a common occurrence. Next we have James, a solid southern soul with a good heart who can make one hell of a breakfast sandwich. And finally, myself, a man striving to be a good captain for such a wonderful crew and hardy sailboat. January was not the month to be sailing north, but we had the time we were given and lots to do before Juno was ready. We knocked out some projects before James arrived. I was in a boat accident in Costa Rica where a fishing boat hit me while I was sleeping on anchor. A bright visible red light for the anchorage was in order. The next morning, we shoved off the dock with optimism, coffee, and even spare time to do another project. All was well until we ran aground. Soon we'd learn how common this would be on the ICW. I still need to explain the ICW. Tunes, please, Griff. The ICW is the Intercoastal Waterway, a chain of creeks and inlets all connected to create one continuous river that stretches from Florida to Massachusetts. It's very tidal dependent, skinny, and at times very, very shallow. But it was our only ticket for getting north in January while the ocean was still angry. We continued on northward, made brekkie, and had a belt on the engine snap.
That's bad, y'all.
We accomplished 40 miles this day and found ourselves in the first of many stunning anchorages. Captain Griff forgot to purchase salt. We were forced to use our rations. The next 3 days were much the same. Wake up early, weigh anchor, and fix the engine while motoring north.
Thanks, LA.
Sailors use a small rubber boat and outboard engine called a dinghy or tender to get to shore for the everyday errand. I got a smacking deal on this Yamaha 15 horsepower that also shared my birth year.
I'm actually quite proud of that.
We're only halfway through the mission, Griff.
This little engine ended up being quite neurotic.
Close.
On the trek back to Juneau, loaded to the brim with groceries, we followed the ICW trend and ran aground, but this time going much faster. We struggled in a muddy mess with a half-reliable engine to get back to the mothership. This ended up being one of my favorite memories from the trip. We started our morning like any other when we got a text from a family friend of James. They mentioned they were right off the ICW and had a warm meal, laundry machine, shower, and cozy bed awaiting us. We hadn't been happier the whole trip. Clark, Evie, and Sam, y'all are legends, and we are so grateful for your hospitality. I even found some spare time for another project. We left that next morning feeling like complete humans again. Ally forgot her glasses after departure, and Clark and Evie even launched their speedboat to come deliver them. The following day, I turned 28, and wouldn't have wanted to spend it anywhere else. James that morning got another text from a family friend offering their condo in Charleston, which coincidentally happened to be on the coldest night of the trip, reaching a minimum of 28 degrees. The condo was exquisite, and once we poured our dinghy debacle mud wine, we were living like kings and queens. Ally flew back to Mexico City the next morning, and James and I plotted for an offshore passage. Sailing offshore is when one sails some 5 to 10 miles away from land, you don't stop through the night, and you keep sailing, switching shifts with your crew to keep a healthy watch ahead for other vessels and weather. After just 9 days on the ICW and 2 days offshore, we pulled into Juneau's new slip, hopped in James' truck, and drove to his home on the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Even finding some spare time for a surf with friends. Tunes, please, Griff.